Hey everyone, welcome to the review, and here's my review of actually two films. I'm doing something very different in this video. I'm going to be reviewing two movies at once. Yes, I usually don't do this, but these are two documentaries that came out pretty recently, and I thought I'd just talk about both of them because I don't have anything large to say about both of them, but I love them both. And I thought I'd just talk about both of them because, again, they're both documentaries and they both just came out. And I thought, you know what, I'll just do it in one big video. So, yeah. The first documentary I'm going to review is Won't You Be My Neighbor? Won't You Be My Neighbor is directed by Nicole Novell, and this is a great documentary who's previously directed Best of Enemies and 20 Feet from Stardom. Very good documentaries, and now she's directed this one, Won't You Be My Neighbor? This is about Fred Rogers, Mr. Rogers himself. Yes, if you grew up in the 80s, you definitely know who Mr. Rogers is. He had his own television show, working with children and everything. Basically, this is an entire documentary about his life and his career and how much he dedicated his life to educate and help children and stuff. And this is a phenomenal documentary. Everyone's saying this is like the best documentary of the entire year, probably one of the best documentaries that came out like this decade. They're saying it's endearing, it's sad, it's emotional, but it's very educational and very deep and moving. 100% agree with all those facts. This is a phenomenal documentary with a great story, and it's got an interesting subject matter about Mr. Rogers and stuff. This is coming from a guy I've never watched Mr. Rogers. I know nothing about Mr. Rogers. That's why I wasn't like highly anticipating this film when I heard about it, when I saw trailers for it. I was probably gonna check it out, but it's nothing that was on my radar because I never grew up with Mr. Rogers. I don't know anything about Mr. Rogers and stuff, and I don't know, that wasn't my thing, and I don't know anything about Mr. Rogers, but this is a documentary that's so good and so well made and so endearing that anyone can watch this movie and anyone can learn about this guy's life, and you don't need to be a Mr. Rogers fan, or you don't need to know anything about Fred Rogers. You like film and filmmaking and you like good stories, you'll love this movie, Won't You Be My Neighbor? It's a terrific film that has no flaws. This is a flawless documentary that is sad, educational, very deep, and the way they explore his life as a child and getting the show and how he worked with all these children, with all these different children with different genders and different races and stuff. He talks a lot about politics and how he educates children in very mature ways. He talks to kids like kids are adults and stuff, and it's fascinating. His story is fascinating. He's a truly inspirational person and a very likable person. He did a lot to help the community and help kids all around the world to educate them properly about the world we live in. And it's sad too because he always believed that he wanted to help kids, but he believed sometimes it wouldn't help. The kids would still grow up to be criminals or bad people and stuff. Like, he tried to teach them what the true right is in life and what the right way to do and to make yourself have a better future and everything. The way he explains things and helps these kids is truly remarkable, and he's a truly amazing guy with a truly remarkable story. Learning about his life, learning how he got to certain places, learning how it all ended and stuff, how it all began, how it all ended, the ups and downs of his career and his life is phenomenal. And it hooked me, and I was locked onto the screen right when it began to the moment it ended. I wanted to know everything about this guy and everything about this guy's life. I was just floored with this film. I thought this was a truly fantastic documentary that was super well directed, super well paced, and fascinating from start to finish. I absolutely loved everything about it. This is a top contender for an Oscar nomination for Best Documentary, even probably a win. If this doesn't get nominated, then there's something fucking wrong with the fucking Oscars, but this is an amazing film. Highly recommend it. Won't You Be My Neighbor is not only probably the best documentary of this year, but it's one of the best films of this year. It obviously gets a 10 out of 10 for me. It's remarkable. Check it out. The second documentary I saw was equally amazing, but not as uplifting. It's more dark and tragic, and that is Three Identical Strangers. Three Identical Strangers. This is a truly just heart-wrenching documentary. This is directed by Tim Wardell. I don't know anything about this guy. I think this is his directorial debut. And this is about three guys that basically go to school, and they kind of find each other, and they're like long-lost twins. And they find a third one, and they're long-lost triplets and stuff. And this was a big thing that happened during this time period. They were all on the news. There's these three brothers that finally got to meet each other for the first time and stuff. They were all separated from each other, and now these triplets are back and they're family again and stuff. And then it starts off very funny and stuff. It's like a weird 80s sitcom I'm watching. It's like, this guy goes to school. Oh my god, my roommate's my brother and stuff. Like, it's so funny and quirky and stuff. And it just switches tones as the film progresses and stuff. And it gets unpleasant and weird and strange, but very unique and very fascinating. Because when you find out more about these three brothers and what they went through and why they were separated, it's kind of fucking crazy and just wow. This documentary talks a lot about identity and reality and stuff, and it's kind of scary. It's absolutely terrifying because you look at your own life and you're like, what if I was part of a science experiment and stuff? It is just messed up, and it's devastating, like what these guys had to go through, and it's wow. I don't want to spoil anything. Just watch the trailers. The trailers alone will just hook you, and you'll definitely want to watch the movie after watching the trailers. It is super remarkable of a film. This, again, talks a lot about identity and reality and your place in this world, and about these three identical twin brothers that were never probably ever meant to meet each other, but they found a way to, in the pure luck, they found each other, and they learned about their lives and their past lives, and a lot about like science experiments and stuff. That's all I can really say, because I can't give away the ending. I can't give away what it's all about. But it's messed up. It's a messed up film, but it's fascinating, and it's a little hard to watch at times because of just what these people went through, and it's a fantastic documentary. It's a very unique, very original documentary that I was hooked from start to finish. I don't think it's quite as good as Won't You Be My Neighbor, but it is fantastic. It's very deep in the way this filmmaker felt like he didn't know the story, but he was learning with the audience members. The way the movie is put together, it felt like the documentary didn't know where it was going, but then when that documentary found out where it was going, it just immediately switches tones and stuff. I thought that was a fascinating way to make a documentary, because it starts off like a comedy, then it goes into like a sci-fi thriller. It's just so fucking weird, but it's fascinating, and I can't help but admire and appreciate it. I thought this was a terrific documentary, a documentary that I also think should be getting an Oscar nomination when it comes to Oscar season for Best Documentary. It was amazing. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give Three Identical Strangers a 9.3 out of 10. It's not flawless, it's not as good as Won't You Be My Neighbor, but it's still amazing, and yeah, these two documentaries, freaking awesome. So yeah, that was my review of both Won't You Be My Neighbor and Three Identical Strangers. In the comment section below, please tell me which ones did you like more, which ones are you excited more to see and stuff. Give me your thoughts and opinions on both of these subjects. I really want to know. Give me some dialogue, give me some conversations going. Comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like this video, please subscribe to this channel and join the dark side.